There we go. Now I'm recording. Okay, so what we're looking at here is a typical paper formatted in APA 7. And so this is one thing that I'll be looking for from you when you do your papers. Now, obviously, if those of you who are doing presentations, this is going to be a little bit different. This might not necessarily apply to you, but you could still do like the cover slide of your presentation with this information too. All right, so pretty standard. I didn't mean to turn that off. Hold on. Let's do no markup. There we go. So this is a paper that I wrote last December. First of all, there's a 1-inch margin all the way around. It's hard to see where that number 1 is, but if you look up at my rulers, there's an inch on the side tops and on the sides. You've got page numbers up here that appear on every page. And then you move into that title page. That is my title. I have a title and a subtitle. Then I have my name and the school I'm going to. For you, you might include the course name and my name in it, but it's not something that I'm really too concerned about. And then the date, and that's your simple title page. Okay, so it's going to look something along those lines. As far as the font goes, I've chosen to use Times New Roman for this one, but again, you don't have to. You can use Calibri, you can use Arial. APA has gotten really flexible now with what fonts you're allowed to use. They weren't always, but now they are. Okay, so it's a pretty simple title page. I'm just going to zoom out so you can see that's the whole thing. Even the spacing on the page isn't that big of a deal. And then page 2 here, so you can see it, is the page number at the top, the title of the paper again. And in this case, this happens to be a paper with chapters to it. So you see I've got chapters and then a subtitle. I don't expect that you're going to get that crazy with it. I will expect to see your title there. Okay, so it's the first thing that you're looking at is that formatting, how you're setting this up. Okay, all right. What I want to show you now is what I'm really looking forward to, the stuff or looking for in your papers, the stuff that is the most important in my mind. And that is, look at this part here. That's the in-text citations. Okay, now I'm sure that everyone is used to having a table of, not a table of contents, I'm sorry, a list of references at the end of the paper. And if you look at this paper here, same thing. All right, let me pull that up for you. This here is my references. Sorry, there's a lot, so I'm scrolling a little bit. And that's at the end of the paper. You're used to seeing that, right? So again, references at the top, and then the list of the different resources that I've used. Everyone, I think, is pretty much used to doing that. So I will be looking for that reference list. Here's the catch though. As you're writing, I'm also looking for you to make reference to those same things in your paper. So I've got this first sentence here, and right after it, I know that that information came from this source. Okay, so that's the author's name, a comma, and then the dates. And if I go back to, whoops, if I go back to my references here, I can scroll down a little bit, and I'm still in the C's. But if I go down to the I's, I will be able to see Earl Beck right there. That's where I got that information from, that article right there. Okay, I realize that for a lot of you, you've done this already, it's old hat. But I just want to reiterate, I'm really, really looking for that. I want to see this list of references, and I want to see that in-text citation. That's going to be important. Okay, do you want me to go over how to do an in-text citation? Or Elise, you had a question.
Quick question. So how, as far as the reference of the people that we were using, how would we put them down in the reference frame? Like
the people that you asked about you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that in just a second. Does everyone at least have some understanding about how to do an in-text citation, what it looks like? I'm seeing nods, I'm seeing, I don't want to waste your, at least you said you're used to it. I don't want to Amanda, Jasmine, awesome. Okay. If you're not sure and you want to talk about it afterwards, like I said, I've got time. Okay. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time going over that now. Instead, what I think is going to be more valuable to you is, let me close this guy, is to go over exactly what you just asked, Arlise. All right, so what I'm going to do now is open up a new Word document. Bear with me just a second. We're going to snap it there. And let's go here. Nope, I keep opening up that wrong file. Believe me when I say I have a million things open right now. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and share my screen with you. Now we're going to see the whole screen. Hey, there you all are. Let's go ahead and talk about what sources you need to include. So first of all, you're going to need to include the textbook. Some of you are going to have a movie that you need to do. And then some of you have personal type, SONAL, communication. Is there any other type of reference that you'd like to go over? Are we good with websites and articles? Okay, good. Sorry, my phone's suddenly blowing up. So let's do the textbook because this is one that every single one of you will be able to use. And I can send exactly what I'm typing now to you afterwards. With the textbook, I'm gonna make it super easy for you, all right? What I'm gonna have you do is go back to the syllabus, okay? And I know you can see I'm going into all my files right now, but go back to the syllabus. And I've actually given you the reference for the textbook already in the syllabus. So when you go there, scroll down a little bit, right? Required text on the second page, that's it. Steal that, copy it, and put it right into your paper. That's exactly what it should look like, okay? And then when you do, so that is the reference for your list. And then when you do the in-text citation, it's gonna be pretty simple. Bowman 2019, and that's it, okay? But that's one that's easy, we've already got it. Sound good? Any questions on that? I will say that with the textbook, it was written by one person, okay? And so for that reason, even if you're using multiple chapters, you're only going to cite it that one time, okay? So Bowman wrote a textbook with 11 chapters to it. Yes, you might be using chapters 2, 5, and 10. Even so, you're still going to use that same reference the whole way through, and it still counts as one source. All right, I don't want you to be confused about that otherwise. If it was written by a group of different people, then you would do it separately. But in this case, it's one guy who wrote the whole book. All right, let's talk about how to do a movie reference now. All right, first of all, what I want to recommend to you is an amazing website called Internet Movie Database. Is everyone familiar with that? This is awesome, and I totally recommend it. Internet Movie Database is essentially where you can learn everything about any movie that you ever wanted to learn. Whoops, not Panther. There it is, Black Panther. So Amanda, you're doing Black Panther for your movie, I think. So here it is. This is exactly how we would do Black Panther. And you know what? I'm gonna actually stop for just a second because I want to take a peek at my notes. I don't cite movies that often, so I honestly don't remember what it looks like. So I have to go back and cheat really quick on it. As you get better at this, you're going to see a lot of patterns, and you're going to just become more and more familiar with it. Okay. All right, I got it now. So let's go back here. The first thing that you need to figure out is the director's name. All right. In that case, going back to Black Panther here, an Internet Movie Database. Again, this site is, oops, really, really good. Sorry, I'm clicking around a lot because things are obstructed on my end. 3. In this case, you can scroll down a little bit. You should be able to see the director's name. Right here, it says writer. If I were, right above it, director, Ryan Coogler. So the first thing I'm going to do is put it as Coogler, comma, R, right? And then I need to indicate that that is the director of a movie. So in brackets after his name, I'm going to write director. And then there's always a
be
period.
prepared. Sorry, Professor Scooter, but be prepared because it's coming.
Oh, the storm?
You see it?
Oh, whoa, yeah.
My daughter's practice is until 7:30. They're letting everybody go home because it's coming in very, very fast.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel it here too.
If
Thank
you lose me, I will be back eventually.
Okay, same, by the way. All right, thank you, Amanda. I just saw your message. All right, so there's the director, the last name, comma, first initial, director in brackets. After that, you're gonna put the title of the film, Black Panther, and then the year. This movie came out in 2018. And again, I'm finding all of this information here on Internet Movie Database. Okay. And actually, I realized I did that backwards. Should be 2018, Black Panther. Might be, sorry. And then after that, film, so that we know it's a movie. All right. The last thing for this is you need the production company, which in this case is Marvel Studios. Again, I found that by scrolling down. I looked at this the other day. I'm cheating. I really am. But I looked at this the other day and I found details right here, official sites, Marvel and Disney. So Marvel Studios, Disney Studios Picture, something like that. Okay, and then a period at the end. So that is what it would look like as, again, this is the reference. Sorry, I'm trying to type and talk at the same time. All right, and then when you do the in-text citation, it's gonna look just like what we had before, Coogler, comma, 2018, and that's it. So for those of you who are doing the assignment where you're looking at a movie, those of you who are looking at a television series, same thing, it's going to follow that same format, all right? The only difference if you're doing a television series is instead of writing film there, you'd put series, okay? And I wanna caution you, if you are doing a TV series, sometimes there are different directors. Like some actors think it's fun to go ahead and direct an episode or 2 of the TV show they're on. So sometimes you'll see like an actor's name as the director, or sometimes you'll see producers instead. It's up to you which one you want to use there. Good so far? All right, the last one I want to show you is personal communication. Let me just make sure, because I'm going to be copying this into an email to you afterwards. Personal communication to be used when you are quoting someone you have spoken to. All right, this one's a little bit different. When it comes down to the reference, there is no reference. It actually does not appear in your list of references. So I showed you that big long paper before. It was has like 10 pages worth of references and sources. It would not appear there at all. There is no reference, so it doesn't appear in the reference list. However, you are still going to do an in-text citation. Okay, and with that, It's going to look very, very similar to what you see up here, that Kugler 2018, that Bowman 2019. What you would do is put, let's see, say Sweeter E, and then put personal communication, and then you'd put the date. August, 12, 2021, and that would be it. So Arlise, when you're quoting your son or when you're quoting your sister-in-law, you'd put it just like that. They'd put their first, their last name, comma, first initial, personal communication, and then the date
Would the date be the date of the
that they talk to you.
copy?
Mhm. And if it's easier for you, and it probably will be, just put August 2021. Because my guess is, ready for it, that you talk to your son every day on a regular basis. So yeah, go ahead and put just August 2021. That is totally fine. All
Every
right.
morning at 6 o'clock to be exact.
Oh God. That's when my daughter's jumping on me and slapping me in the face. Mommy, mommy, mommy. All right. So does this help? This is what I'm looking for in the paper. For every single one of them, I need to see this at the end, at the reference list. And then in text, I need to see that. I saw a thumbs up from Arlise. Amber too, thanks. Are there any other types of sources that you could use? Thanks, Amanda, that you'd like me to go over for you? Again, you might have an article, you might have a website where you need to have 3 references minimum. I mean, the textbook is the obvious one that everyone's going to have. After that, you know, you might have the movie if you're doing that one, but you're probably using websites there too. Okay. And I do want to recommend to you, I'm just going to put this down here at the bottom of the page, Purdue OWL. If you haven't used that site, it is Purdue University's online writing lab. Okay. And they are definitely the gold standard when it comes to APA. They really put together a beautiful website. That's a great resource for you too. And I'll send that to you later on as well in a follow-up message. All right.
So I just want to clarify. So my reference page will only have one reference. That's okay? Because you said the personal communication doesn't get referenced.
Because you're
but
doing
it's a-
3. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
yeah, definitely. I mean, it might help you to have another one.
Like a website or an article.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what your findings are. If you find that the textbook is good, but it's not the best thing in the entire world. So if you decide that he didn't write enough about this one particular topic and you want to Google it as a backup,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah, but
Okay.
as long as you refer to those people throughout, you're in good shape
Okay, thanks.
like that. Mhm. Great question.
That was a good question. Because I was
I
gonna
think so
ask, what
too.
about if you know, the top, what they chose is like really not in the book?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Excuse me,
Okay.
the cat's going nuts behind me. What are you doing? So yeah, absolutely. And consider also, I think this applies mainly to those of you who have chosen to do the movie. Bear with me just a second here. Those of you who have chosen to do the movie, when you're looking at the movie, that last page, I apologize, I know I'm clicking around a lot. Don't want to make you nauseous there. That last page does list all of those different topics But we talked about last week how you're not limited to just those topics. If you want to talk about, right, what's not on that list there, but if you want to talk about like how color is associated with gender, or if you want to talk about changes based upon time periods, you know, if you're watching a movie that's set 50 years ago versus now, the textbook's not going to be as helpful to you there. So in that case, you're going to have to, yeah, you're going to have to find some other source to round it out for you. All right. Anything else? Cool. So the last thing that I'm just going to beg you for, please, you can text this to me, you can email it to me. I do need to know, please, who is doing what and what format you're doing in. Right now, I've got one presentation and 3 papers, and frankly, I need to know for next week. So I know it's a plan for our class period together. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and stop recording this because we don't need to.